Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I'm Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And on tonight's very special episode of the Brewtiful Game, we have a rule. And that is Blake flies out early tomorrow morning and must edit this pod tonight. So we have 2 bleeps each, or this editing is going to take too long tonight. Those are the rules. This is the no curse pod. We'll see how long that lasts. Did Man United have a bad
I may not
game?
just talk this pod.
I was going to say, it's the problem is all on Ferris right now.
Well, we've all of our teams won,
Oh, that's true.
right?
That's
Which is a rare thing.
You're right.
Right.
You're right.
And then
And
lost for some of the teams.
Well, later in the week, yes.
Yeah. We'll get that. So this is true. So Tottenham on this episode out their North London foes as they come from 2 behind to draw with Man City. Wait, they're North London foes. Man City's not from North London. What did you write there?
I don't know.
north of London.
This is the perfect time to cuss.
Yeah.
I try not to.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, shoot. I said shoot. I was not saying anything else. Tottenham, hold on. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Read it again.
Okay, so are we?
That's what it was supposed to say.
Okay, I'll try this again. Tottenham help out their North London foes as they come from 2 behind to draw with Man City, but not amongst some good old-fashioned drama and a potential Puskas Award winner. Then it was a much better week for both Arsenal and Liverpool as they got back to winning ways, and Carrick's at the wheel as Manchester United make it 3 in a row. Get your scissors ready. We'll break down those matches and plenty more for the Premier League and our 2-minute drill. And as the halftime whistle blows, get off my side of the pitch, pot roast, and the 2-goal comeback of the Cornish hen. Ron shares with us all the news that's fit to drink and yet another edition of Ron's Beer News. Then finally, we're going to discuss many other topics and headlines from around the world or around footy soccer world in a jam-packed edition of the La Liga's Roundup. But first, our beer. Over to you, Ron.
Okay, so funny story. My wife and I are friends with this Australian couple that we know from the similar work that we do. And we were sitting down having a pint and some food with them, talking about life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, all that kind of stuff. And they found out that I do a pod with you guys. And they're like, wait, you do a footy pod and it's about beer? So I talked to them about it. They instantly subscribe. So anything you see in the stats from Australia is them.
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. And so they're like, look, we've got a trip to Australia. We're going for vacation for 10 days. We'll bring you back some beer. So they come back and they bring me back some beer, like a bunch of beer.
Really?
It's like 24 beers, but it's 2 of each because they know you and I are in the studio together.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Which we are tonight.
So they brought these beers and they're like, look, we have been listening to the pod and we know that sometimes it's funnier to have bad beers. So we bought a bunch of beers we think are absolute crap.
Oh, wow. Look at this, man. This pod's going to be so hard.
Right?
Absolute crap. But we're not going to tell you which ones they are. And we mix them in with good beers. And we can't wait to hear what you think.
So instead of a Russian roulette, it's an Aussie roulette beer game that we have to play.
And hopefully we don't disappoint them by going, God, that's amazing. And they're like, mate, that's the crap.
right?
Like,
Listen.
Right? Like Victoria bitters.
Yeah.
So that stuff was
Stupid Yanks don't know good beer and save their lives.
right. So we are having one from Balter Brewing Company, which is one of Australia's most successful craft breweries, known for its high quality beers and its connection to the professional surfing world. It was founded in 2016 in Queensland, which is on the Gold Coast, started by a group of childhood friends, including several world-renowned professional surfers. So the beer we're going to have is called Balter Captain Sensible. It's a full-flavored, mid-strength Australian pale ale brewed by Balter Brewing Company. It's designed to offer satisfying craft beer experiences without the high alcohol content, making it popular choice for session drinking. It is an Australian pale ale. Its alcohol content is 3.5, and The IBUs, if you're following at home, is 20, which is basically the XG of the beer world. I just came up with that. Proud of myself. You're welcome. You'll never be able to unthink that.
Yeah, that's you're right.
It features a a balance of refined malt undertones with a vivacious hop profile.
Okay.
Yeah, delivering hints of pine and citrus aromas. Should be pretty fun.
Interesting.
That
Looking forward to it.
That sounds good.
Or not looking forward to it. Oh.
All right. Well, gents, you know me. I love a beer that is written that its description has an excellent story. And sometimes you see crazy names or whatever, and you're like, cool. And you look it up, and it's like, yep, Slamagaster Balabaster. That's our double IPA. Oh, okay. Why you call it that? That's just our double IPA. Okay. I guess there's a story somewhere. But I love when someone puts a story. So I'm tapping back into Collusion Tapworks, who are headquartered in York, Pennsylvania. I typically go to their brew pub in Lidditz, PA. Has become our favorite hangout. And I grabbed, for me, if we get to our other beer, this will be an all IPA session for me. I am grabbing a specifically New England IPA from Collusion called Xerion Matrix. You guys know Xerion?
No.
You heard that?
Sounds familiar.
Just sit back and relax. If we're trying to be the no curse pod, like it's the cursed child from Harry Potter or something, this thing has Potter in it. It's got old school science for Ron, and it's beer. This is great. This made me so happy. Xerion Matrix, New England style IPA brewed with a mountain of flaked oats, hopped throughout with Simcoe and Citra. Our story starts in the 8th century. In Khorasan, which is modern Iran, the father of chemistry, Jabir, and forgive me on pronunciations, but Jabir ibn Hayyan sat down to record a groundbreaking work. He believed that the 4 known elements, earth, fire, air, and water, each contained 4 basic qualities. By rearranging these qualities, he could turn any substance into another in a process known as alchemy, but he needed something special, a substance called alaskir, or what the Greeks called Xerion. Xerion was a powder derived from the legendary Philosopher's Stone, which was said to exist all around, yet went unnoticed. Finding the Philosopher's Stone was the most sought-after goal of alchemists of his age, as it was believed to not only be the key to alchemy, but also immortality. By rearranging the qualities of one metal, another could be created as long as Xerion was available to aid in the transformation. He recorded the qualities that needed to be changed into what other qualities and what would become known as the Xerion Matrix. While we do not believe our beer will give you immortality or provide great riches, but we constantly work with our ingredients in order to produce the perfect beer. We take simple ingredients, combine them, and work our magic to produce what we hope you will agree is worth more than its weight in gold.
Nice.
I want that job, writing those things.
Right?
It sounds like a story out of like Indiana Jones or something.
I know, man. Little Philosopher's Stones. I was like, this is fun. So I've liked everything they've made. So I'm stoked to try this New England IPA. I ain't been steered wrong yet.
You have to get it out of the fridge there, bud.
Boom.
Oh, the beer that we have. Crap. I forgot that's up here. I said crap.
You did. Good job. You're going to help the editing tonight.
Because this is only, the second time we've recorded here?
Yeah.
So, I'm not used to doing some of the things that I would usually. Okay, there we go. Okay, man, okay, here we go.
So you got everything you need?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. And I'm going to try a little bit of this so Ron can enjoy that, because if it's that crap, then he can enjoy the whole rest of it.
Oh,
and then I'm gonna have a beer that Ron brought over that he had on a previous pod that I've been looking forward to try, and it's from Side Launch up in Canada, the German pills. So
shall we crack these?
Let's do it.
And I have the towel here in case we need to.
Oh man, yep. God, I love whether it's New England or whatever kind of IPA that it's just you open it and you feel like you're cooking with hops at home. I love that.
A strong point is the beer we're about to have smells like beer.
What style is it again?
It is Australian pale ale.
All right, your Aussie roulette. We'll see how it works out for you.
So yeah, it smells like a pale ale.
All right, gents.
I would hope it smells like a pale ale.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You know, if it's one of the bad ones, who knows what it smells like?
If it's one of the bad ones, you and Ryan got to split that fully. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cilantro boys.
Could also just be a pour out.
Man. Oh, God, that's really good.
This is a weird one.
I
I can't say that it's bad.
No,
It just goes like flat on you.
yeah,
Like flavor profile, not carbonation.
like it heads towards bitter beer face, but stops at the fork in the road.
It traveled from Australia. So is it like a traveling situation or?
No.
I don't think so.
So the aroma is like borderline IPA instead of just pale ale because it's so hop forward. It's a little bit the flavor up front is great. It is then really light and crisp and almost flavorless once it passes like the middle of your palate.
It's like, dare I? And because I know we had a few of these on the pod recently, like a session IPA almost.
Well, yeah,
Finish?
because it's session pale ale because it's 3.5%.
Yeah, session. Yeah,
But I don't know. It goes from like flavorful to tasteless in the matter of milliseconds.
yeah.
Well, this one is fantastic. It is so hoppy, but it's so juicy. It's awesome. I haven't had anything that's hoppy in a while, but it's
That's
not overpowering.
New England, you said?
Yeah, it's a New England IPA, but it's like so sweet from the juiciness. Like it's a really good combo. This is going to go down fast.
Love it.
Just like Man City. Let's move on over. We'll make the
Technically,
Well,
go down.
technically, that's not.
yes, if you look at the stats, they go down in every second half. That is what they do. Something like if the game stopped at the half, Man City would be ahead at like 55 points or something. It's a crazy stat. So speaking of the team we love to not like, Man City, Tottenham 2, Man City 2, the Premier League match of the weekend on Sunday once again cooked us up a good one as Man City looked to be cruising to 3 points with goals from Cherky and Semenyo. How many games, Semenyo? Is this his second game? Semenyo throughout the first half, but then early in the second half, the North London tide began to turn following the Spurs being booed off the pitch at half by their own fans. Well, that's a reoccurring theme. In the 53rd, it would be... Yeah. In the 53rd minute, it would be much welcomed back Dominic Solanke, who not only knocked home the first Spurs goal, but also knocked into Man City's defender, Mark Gahey. Nothing to see here, the ref said, and VAR, I should say, said. But then 17 minutes later, there was something to see as Solanke applied for an early Puskas Award nomination as he spectacularly scorpion kicked a goal in over Donnarumma. Oh, God, Donnarumma, which is easier to say than to look at and read.
Correct.
So it's 2-2 is how it ended in a crazy tale of two halves, as once again Tottenham proved to be a Spursy thorn in the side of Man City. And we ask, was City hard done by here? I don't think so. That seemed like one of those, if the call came, you're like, harsh, but I guess. And if the call doesn't come, you're like, yeah, we'd probably have the same conversation if the call had been a penalty.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't ever want to agree with anything on the Man City side, like ever. I
Just
do
in principle.
Yeah, I do call them several times a different word. It rhymes with city, but starts with an S and ends with a Y. Sure, you can get out there, but I'm trying not to curse for Blake's sake. But I'll tell you, at first, I didn't think that it was a foul. I'm like, what's everybody so up in arms about it for? Because it looked innocuous. It looked like he just kicked it. But when you look at it and you do what we can do now and you slow it down and you instant replay it and you slow-mo it, I could see, yes, I could see it being a foul because it's called that way on the pitch pretty much anywhere else when you go through the player to get to the ball. And that's what happened. He basically went through the back of Gahey's leg to then tap the ball. And I think a lot of the point of contention here and why VAR had just had a quick look at it is because it's hard to tell that he might have poked the ball first before Gahey's leg. But Gahey stops in front of him and his shin collides with like the back of his calf there. And I think that's where you could see Gahey almost step in front and try to stop the ball. And then he kicks through him, taps the ball in, and it's a goal. So in this case, I do think that Man City were hard done by here, and I'm surprised it wasn't surprised they didn't send the ref over to the monitor.
Yeah,
It's just payback for all the crap they've gotten away with over time.
I'm okay with it.
And
so did the ref make the call to not
if-
go? Oh, sorry. Did the ref make the call not go to the monitor?
No, if I remember correctly, VAR had a quick look at it, but didn't advise him to go over.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, if this was a much more obvious thing that wasn't so subjective, that you had to slow down to, frame by frame to figure out, then yeah, I'd say City were hard done by. But this is such a, kind of.
Hey,
routine.
you know where they're not hard done by? Tottenham's effing 14. Be up by 3 then. Like,
Right,
I mean,
right.
like Tottenham ain't good. So that's your own fault. You got a 26 goal differential and 47 points second place. You should smoke Tottenham.
And you know what else they had? 2.08 XG.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like that's one thing. I mean, like, even if you're hard, I guess if they're playing Arsenal, Man City, or Villa, you go, oh, hard done by, close game, teams that are, but like, this is like, dude, be better than a team that ain't doing well.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, screw the hard done by VAR and a call by the ref. That happens every single game, every single week, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Be more hard done. Like, how many more times is Solanke actually going to score that goal?
Yeah.
Like, never, ever again in his life, right? It is one of the wilder scorpion kicks that I've seen. And I don't know what I was doing, but I missed it live and had to kind of go back and rewatch it. And you're like, how did he even get that? Because he wasn't like in the center of the goal like Giroud was, like Mkhitaryan's was in United, because those happened around the same time, several years back. But he was more towards, like, if you're looking at goal, so for us, audience right, of the goal, and kind of, a good 5-10 yards more like in line with the penalty spot. And when the ball comes in, he's almost turned towards the goal and then kind of flaps it over, and it just kind of loops over Donnarumma. It's not hard hit. It kind of, he just catches it with like the with the ever so less back part of his heel, and it goes in.
Yeah.
I completely missed it.
Like,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, it wasn't. I guess because we're rewatching it right here. I guess it wasn't. I guess he was more center of the goal, but he was more towards like the right stick of it, and he just, which is even more crazy because he's that close, I guess now, and still completely over Donnarumma.
Completely luck. He's not training for that on the pitch all the time, doing that, or training that on the training ground, right? Like, he just throws a leg at it.
Yeah. And you can tell he's trying to do that, but it's how many more times is, so many things have to play in here. One, you got to make that run. You got to be in the position. Two, the defending there was kind of god awful that he got in.
But
and that center back didn't come over. He has a lot of space. And then two, the ball in was perfectly badly placed because it was behind him. It's not like Conor Gallagher played a great ball. He just looped the ball in. It just happened to be kind of behind him. So feel more hard done by that. Or how about this? Feel more hard done that your defenders didn't do anything.
Also, so yes, you're a goal that's just never gonna. It doesn't happen often. Goes in just like games. You go, my God, this club is so much better than this other club, but that goalkeeper was on fire that day, and there's 20 shots on goal, but none of them go in, and it happens. But what's consistent is in the second half of Premier League games this season, Man City has conceded 17 goals after halftime.
That's right. I heard that said earlier in the week.
Compared to just 6 in the first half. So
from such
that's a good stat. Yeah.
From a team that we expect to be so closed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But with that said, over the past several seasons, Tottenham have been that thorn in their sides where they've lost a lot of these. Usually that has like what the head-to-head is over the last several. Earlier in the season, they won 2-0. Back in February, Man City barely won.
Yeah.
Back in November last year, Tottenham won 4-0. October of that year, they won 2-1 in the EFL Cup. They just always play them tight. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4 different times in the past 2, 3 years. And they're all 1-goal games, really no much more than that, unless you're Tottenham that beat them 4-0 last season.
And it's the fifth time that they've blown a halftime lead. So, I mean, again, I don't, and Rodri's not making anything better by, he might be in trouble with the FA and get a potential ban because he, after the match, was on fire saying you have to have neutral referees and was accusing the refs of not being neutral.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
And it's like, hey, man, like, the refs don't have anything to do with that stat we just rolled out. Like that's the problem right now. You could just have a game that you didn't do well in, but you're still doing fine with your other matches if you hadn't blown 17 goals in the second half.
Right. And it's like they caught the bug of because we'll go over a few other games here. And there were a lot of people were up 2-0 and comebacks occurred. Not everybody lost. Some people won. They just happened to draw. So it's like they just kind of caught that bug because this was the last game on Sunday.
Yep. Right.
So it just wild. And it just takes them a little bit further down the pecking order of what the Premier League is, because now they're about 6 points off of it now, off the top.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tottenham. We appreciate it. Your manager's still drinking out of Arsenal cups. I don't know if you guys saw those pictures, but they were
from a few weeks back.
Yeah.
No, it was a Premier League game, but Arsenal had gone to Bournemouth for a cup game.
Yeah.
And they had left things in the locker room or something, and he thought it was a good idea to. I don't know why. He thought it was
it's just bad because like they come back and then draw this match, and then that's immediately what's all over the internet again. Like that is the picture that will not die. Like that's just gonna keep coming back and back it up. But Rodri needs to quit whining a little bit.
Yeah, and he has not been great since returning from injury. He hasn't been up to his Ballon d'Or status.
Yes.
He's been a very good player and borderline great. He's a big cog in Man City's wheel, but hasn't quite been up there. Because even on that scorpion quick goal, he was just a step behind. But then again, you look at how the defending was. I don't think it's necessarily his position. He might have, to get back there, but I think he could have done a better job of tracking him back.
Yeah. Well, just in general. I mean, that's just you can be frustrated in what happens in a match, but that is not the story of the season. That's what you should be frustrated about, is what's going on for the season.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but and they're showing it, right?
Out. It's just coming out. It'll just continue to come out the more frustrated they are.
Yeah.
Every incident game, excuse me, every game that there is an incident, there will just continue to be.
Yeah. Because, overall, refereeing's not been bad this season. We haven't had
I don't know if it's refereeing, but we associate it with VAR, and I think VAR has not been great.
Well, it's true. Season. We weren't really complaining much about refs in the last couple of years. It was more the VAR. So
right. But I think it's all lumped together.
Yeah.
In a sense, and it's always Howard Webb that comes out and backs and posts the VAR audio and that sort of thing. But it's all part of the same organization.
We just haven't had I just made me realize, hey, we haven't had annual "what the hell is VAR? Just get rid of it" pod. We've had a is this harsh conversation, but it hasn't been anything egregious. Did VR getting better so slowly that we are like the pot in the frog in the boiling pot?
No, they're not getting better.
No, don't say that.
That's
or are we?
quick.
That's what I'm saying. Or are we the frog in the pot that's slowly rising to boiling, so we're not noticing? That's what I mean.
Yeah, fair.
VAR has seen a 30% increase in errors during the first half of the 2025-26 season, with 13 official blunders identified compared to 10 at the same stage last season.
Well, there you go.
Got to wrap that up. So then why aren't we freaking out as much as last season? It feels like we were freaking out.
I think we're just over it.
Immune to it almost.
Yeah.
Or kind of dumb to it, I should say.
You just stop paying attention to it.
Yeah. Just get who was the guy that shared on our little thread, the manager or whomever? Oh no, it's Vinny Jones. You know the actor Vinny Jones. Oh, I'm Vinny Jones. From like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking.
Oh, he used to be a football player.
Yes,
prior to being
big dude. But he was. I can't remember if I shared it with you guys. But he was being interviewed about like the modern game and stuff. And he was like, now see, I can't quote him or I'll break my bleep rule. But like all over the place. But like he gave this description of what should be offsides that was like, that's great. I'll define it to you guys, but it's just so simple, and it's like he's like, he's talking about VAR and stuff. It's very funny. You have to look up Vinny Jones talking about a football, because he talks about like the holes in the back of the socks and everything. It's great. It's like an old man on the porch kind of moment, but it's really funny. Like it's really well done. Shall we move on to the 2-minute drill then, gentlemen?
Why not?
All right, let's do this. We are going to move on over to our famous 2-minute drill. And every time I say it, I almost crack the whip for the Liga's roundup.
Yeah, we need some sort of.
No, we need
we
got it. We'll work on that. We need some kind of. And for 5 years, we've said, Ron, we're going to get a news noise for Ron. We haven't done that either.
I think the 2-minute drill should just be the clock ticking.
Yeah, tick, 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 tick. See, there you go. Answer's done. All right, here we are. So, kicking off the 2-minute drill, I'll get us going with Arsenal had a much better weekend. Let me start the clock here. Arsenal had a much better weekend as they not only returned to winning ways with a 4-0 win over Leeds, but with the aforementioned City draw as well as a Villa loss that we're going to talk about shortly. The Gunners moved 6 points to the top of the table. A tidy win on the road. Can Arsenal making it 2 in a row, hosting Sunderland this weekend. I mean, Arsenal's matches certainly seem friendly on paper.
Yeah, and it's Sunderland at home, where their home form is quite good. So I would suspect that they make that. But Sunderland, what did they draw last time they played Arsenal?
Yeah.
Late draw, 2-2 if I'm not mistaken.
And Leeds has had a good run at home as well.
Yeah, Leeds have been very, very good at home, and it really didn't phase Arsenal. It's like none of the noise of the week of how they drawn to and they lost to Man United and they're down. And this was pretty much just all Arsenal. Yeah, the ball possession was 50-50, but I think that played a lot into it. Because Arsenal kind of wants you to attack in a way. It opens up the game more, and with no Saka in this, I think he's going to be out for a bit. But with Madueke in this,
last minute sub too, extremely.
Very last minute sub. You're right. He was fantastic in this. A goal, player of the match, an assist. So he was really, really good in this, and Leeds just didn't have an answer for him.
No, I 2-0. I'd have been like, hell yeah. I would not have called a 4-0 rolling into this. Although they did do pretty well against Leeds early in the year. They've just been really good at home, Leeds has.
Carrick is at the wheel, baby. As once again, the glorious midfielding lad behind the bench comes through in Fergie time as his 74th minute sub of Sesko came good in the 94th minute to cap a crazy 10-minute spell that saw Fulham come back from 2 to tie it up. But Man United, 3-2 on the day, won again. That makes it 3 from Man United and Carrick.
Now, our kid, this guy get a haircut. Is it not lose in 5 or win 5?
Got to win 5 in a row.
Oh, all right.
So we got 2 more. We got Tottenham coming up on the weekend, early game.
So if you draw or lose to Tottenham,
it's off.
got to start over.
Correct.
And
correct.
And I be honest, I don't know how to call that game, Ferris, because you guys are riding high, but there's been an inconsistency, and then Tottenham just does this to City. Tottenham's a very I don't know what you're gonna get in that match. What shows up?
Yeah, and I don't know, because they always play us tough too. If I'm not mistaken, it is at is it at Old Trafford, or where is it? Is it on the road? It is at Old Trafford, so that's a good thing. And then we got West Ham after that. Because you remember, we're only playing in the Premier League. There's only got a lot of games left. But, well, listen, I think what we've talked about it a lot on this pod with Carrick and kind of what he's doing and how he's going about it. I think a lot there's shades of the old United there, where they gave up 2 goals in that amount of time, a penalty, and then a very, very good goal by I forget who scored it, Kevin, if I'm not mistaken. But it kind of poor defending, which oh my gosh, not again, right? They give up 2 goals here, and it's going to tie. But his substitutions has been spot on. If you remember last week against Arsenal, it was Cunha that came in and scored that goal to win the game much earlier, obviously, and than this one. But it was Sesko who has been on the bench for all 3 games, has come in, has been serviceable, but hasn't really put any goals in. That substitution was not only key, but I think it starts with Bruno Fernandes and his 3 assists. Because a move that he puts on Bassi on the counter in this is what helped cause that goal. And for Sesko to then take it, make it turn, and just lash it, there's a level of confidence through the club at the moment that Carrick is clearly bringing. There's also a sense of calm. And I think it wasn't panic time. It was, we just have to push forward. We're heading towards the Stratford end, and we just have to do it. But that move that Bruno put on Bassi, and then to play that cross, that's helped show that attacking, play down the wing, put the ball in the box that United's known for, and that's what Carrick's brought back.
Hey, get his nameplate ready. Go ahead and install it on the door. That is your new full-time manager. He is not leaving until he is sacked in a year and a half.
Well, first he's got to come out to the press and say I'm supported and you guys suck and you know what you're doing.
God, would it be great to just? Oh, perfectly. Speaking of that, it moves us to Chelsea.
Speaking of 2-goal comebacks, Chelsea didn't only come back from 2 down to West Ham, but then they go on to win it in the 92nd minute with a not Bruno Fernandes, Enzo Fernandez. Thank you. Enzo Fernandez goal. And wow. I mean, the late goal, the WWE SmackDown
Rumble at Stamford Bridge.
I mean, this game had pretty much a bit of everything, right? There's throat grabbing. There's flinging. Good. There's hair acting from Cucurella.
You know what you call that? That is on like a pot of neck bone.
Oh my gosh. It is.
The look on Joao Pedro's face after he shoves
Trauma
Adore,
which we talked about last pod. He made the move.
You mean when the shove they do with it now showing in slow motion and when he turns around?
Yeah,
he throws Cucurella like a rag doll, which in fairness is not hard to do because Cucurella's all hair and just goes down like a ton of bricks. He'll flop the day off. But as soon as Traore goes down and turns around, we don't get a good shot of Joao Pedro's face, But he kind of slowly, like, you can see a step back or two, and you can imagine, like, oh crap, I just got myself into this.
I was waiting for,
this
like,
dude's about to murder me.
On that slow turnaround, I was like waiting for Wolverine claws to pop out. Like, it just looks like a moment in a movie. That's like,
Right, yeah, exactly. That moment when the little guy has punched or shoved or got the better of the big dude, and there's that like slow build up of I'm gonna murder you, right? I mean, even the stereotypic arms to the side.
The dude looks like Hulk coming at him.
Yeah,
hilarious.
And like, good for Joao Pedro. You're standing up for your players, so you're gonna have that shove there.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as he did it, it was that moment, like, oh crap, what did I just do?
Yeah. And in Cucurella's defense, he's just getting up. Like, well, the foul that occurred previously and was called for, like, Cucurella is not doing anything that is in any way aggressive or...
No, he's being Cucurella. He's playing the ball with his hands while he's on the ground, and it's not being called. Like, that's what he was so upset for. He's kind of like crawling on the ground with the balls like underneath of his stomach.
Yeah,
and
after that.
After that, yeah.
Cucurella is just standing up.
Oh, yeah. he almost doesn't know what the hell happened.
He has no, like, I get it. I get this part. But Cucurella is, like, face down to the ground. He's just trying to get up, and he just gets flung while Traore is, for all intents and purposes, going out after the ref or the sideline judge saying, you know what the hell you're talking about. And then the rumble from the jungle starts, right? As who gets the red card? Tabido?
Yes.
Tabido
yeah.
gets the red card for going after Joao Pedro and putting his hands to his neck.
Which is the correct call, yeah.
100%. I thought Sanchez was going to get it because it looks like he has hands to the jaw of another player trying to keep him off of Joao Pedro and Tabido. So
there was a slap in there somewhere, like a faux slap or something. It was the other center back for him.
Hitting Chili Palmer, Cole Palmer, right?
Never upon us. Yeah.
And I thought there was going to be way more discipline than there was. Traore got a yellow, Cucurella got a yellow, and then
I think Pedro got a yellow.
I don't think that was during that.
I think it was because of the shove that he had on. Maybe not.
Oh, Joao Pedro.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. But I just expected a couple more reds out of that.
Yeah, I think VAR went, okay, let's just get the most serious thing and then let bygones be bygones.
Otherwise, everyone's losing 4 players the next match. Yeah.
Especially since it's like, I don't know, there's like 10 seconds of stoppage time left when that all goes down.
Yeah, because this, how much was supposed to be played? Like 9? 5 or something?
Yeah, it was only supposed to be 5.
Yeah, and Fernando scores in the 92nd, and then Tebo gets sent off in the 90th plus 11. So yeah, it carried on for a bit. But all in all, despite that, like LA, West Ham were by far the better team in the first half. But substitutions in this at half were huge as Joao Pedro came on for Garnacho, Mark Cucurella came on for Hato, and Wesley Fofana came on for Badiashile, and those made the difference because Cucurella scored, Pedro scored, and then Pedro assisted Enzo Fernandez. So.
And Fofana had the cross that put
Joao Pedro's first,
header in, right? So all 3 definite impact subs. Just such a weird first half from Chelsea. I mean, Garnacho, I understand why, they thought Garnacho's great. I think he's horribly inconsistent.
Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that.
But also not only, so I can take inconsistency, right? You go through good spells, you go through bad spells, right? Everybody does at their jobs and life and whatever. So you can say, okay, but he would give up a pass and give a complete clear interception to the other team and then not go after it. He did not help Hato at all on that side. And Hato was constantly overrun by superior numbers because Garnacho would not come back and support. He
I could've told you
totally
that.
sold them out,
I could have told you that.
which is why
Mhm.
he subbed off, right?
Yeah.
Which has probably put him out of his misery. He
Yep.
knew he's not having that great a game. And then he didn't play in the Arsenal match.
That is a signing I do not understand, that Garnacho signing.
Listen, Chelsea's made a lot of signings that you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, but that's in particular to me, that is just one that, like, I don't know.
Because when he's on offensively, he's on, and he's a highlight reel of sorts when he's on. But he doesn't do those things to what you were just talking about, Ron, in a consistent way. And part of the reason why homegrown, because he was a homegrown player for United. Why? I think Amron made a good decision and co there, right? Wilcox and all that, because especially in the style that Amron wanted to play with those wing backs, where do you play him? Because you can't play him out of wing because he doesn't come back. Where Diallo and Dorgu can offer you a lot on offense, but also will get their butts back to play defense. Garnacho doesn't do that.
Right.
No.
He'll go down, he'll crove across, he'll roll around on the ground, he'll kind of, slowly get up and then just kind of jog back. So yeah, it's not a surprise that it's when you play him and probably who you play him with that I think Ozanier has to kind of just look at and work the pairings out. And clearly that wasn't a good pairing between Hato and
But like you said, when he's on, he's on. Like the first leg of the Chelsea Arsenal EFL Cup, he was all over Arsenal's 2 goals, right? Just all over Arsenal. But 2 games later, he's having like the worst game of his career. So I hope he goes in the summer, to be honest.
I feel like that should be a reality, but I don't know. Speaking of inconsistency, that was longer than 2 minutes, but I was kind of shocked actually you didn't put the Royal Rumble up top to talk about it as one of like the highlights to talk about, because I had a feeling that would go long. So
yeah,
that's no flag on the play. Panic at Liverpool? Nah, as they get back to winning ways, coming from 1 down to Newcastle, courtesy of Kedeke and Wirtz show to go on and win it comfortably at 4-1.
Ekitike.
But Ekitike. Yep. And Wirtz, thank you very much. All is good at Anfield right now? I don't know.
I don't know. It's too week to week.
Yeah.
It is.
In another season, I'm sorry, they're sitting in 8th.
Win, right?
Yeah, in another season, I think they're sitting in 8th easily at this point.
Yeah, they're sitting in 6th. Only 3 points off of 8th. But they advanced through to the Champions League without having to be in a playoff game. You're getting a lot out of Wirtz now, and you're getting a lot. Obviously, you've got a lot all season at a TK. This team seems to just. I don't know why they bought Alexander Isak. He doesn't seem to. Had you not bought at a TK, I can understand buying Isak, but at a TK is a producing younger, better, more versatile, I'll say, than what Isak is. So it's almost a blessing that
because Isak at his price,
I don't want anybody to get injured and out for the season like he is, but that he's out, it less headache for Slot on who he's going to play. And Wirtz was brilliant in this game, in that number 10 role, because it's your front 4 just offers a lot from them when they're on. Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo, and Etike. That is a scary front 4 when they're coming at you. But also, you have McAllister in there with Gravenberch. And Gravenberch is the Rodri to this team for Slot. He when he plays, and he hasn't played a great deal this season. He was out for a large part of the first half, but he's been great. And if you get this team kind of flowing, you might see them slowly start to climb back up. Title contenders? No, I don't think so. Not at this point, but they're still, you forget, they spent a lot of money. They're still a scary team. And guess who they got next?
City, don't they?
City.
Man City.
Yeah.
Man City in the Sunday game. Yep.
Oh,
That'll be a fun one to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I have to be careful. Sometimes you say Man City and Siri fires off on the phone. I don't know if you can hear that, but that happens frequently.
Brentford move up to 7th despite a red card in the 42nd minute. Their goal 5 minutes later, just before the half, proved to be enough, as in the end, they win on the road at Villa Park to move the Villains now 7 points adrift of the title race. Great win here by the Bees. Terrible loss here by the Villains. Do you guys agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just something about Villa. They go through these like 4 or 5 games that are consistent. They may draw them, but it's on the front foot. It's aggressive. It's fun to watch. And then all of a sudden they'll just completely capitulate a game or two, right? And you look at it and you go, against the Bees, they were relatively, I won't say lifeless. There was a spark there, but it just felt like they were second to every ball. When a pass went errant, no one really tried to chase it back down. They were just like, well, we'll get back into our shape and do a little defending. It was just very ho-hum by them.
Yeah, and it's a terrible loss because not only, yes, are you a man ahead, but you're a man ahead towards the end of the first half, and then you give up a goal just before half. Right. The worst time to give up a goal.
Right.
So now Brentford go into the half with a little bit like, all right, now all we got to do is just not concede.
Right.
And just defend and we'll be okay. And Villa pushed 72% possession, 2.4 on the expected goals, 27 shots, 3 big chances. They pushed, but just almost what you were just describing about Brentford, they were just lifeless on the attack. There was not really any huge big threats or moments that I can kind of think back to where it was, I don't know, a chance to be like, oh man, that goal should have gone in or something. So just a bad loss, especially you're racing for the title. You're at home, the red cards, all of these things just kind of playing into it. Just a bad loss here by Villa.
Yeah, I think your top 4 hopes are buoyed by, again, kind of who's around you. But I mean, Man United and Chelsea seem like clubs that could like push Villa out. That I think this is a big loss as the season goes on, because this 3rd, 4th, and 5th place are going to be and again, they may all be able to go to the Champions League because I think it is 5 teams now going.
Well, and it's funny you say that as we're looking here in the studio at their next several games. It's not the next several games that I'm looking at. It's the last 2 games of the Premier League. Aston Villa host Chelsea and then go away to Man United on the last day of the Premier League. So right. It really could be fighting for top 4, for that top 5. It's probably going to be Champions League spots here.
Yeah. And I mean, while we're saying Liverpool's been a bit inconsistent, they're still Liverpool. Ain't nothing stopping them from going on a run. So, I mean, except themselves.
Exactly.
And Aston Villa's got a pretty favorable run to almost the end of the season in the Premier League, right? They have Brighton, or Bournemouth. Bournemouth are actually 11 or 12.
They are, like but they had been playing better too.
Especially at home.
Yeah.
Sure. But between Bournemouth and Brighton and Newcastle are probably the hardest games they've got. Then you've got Leeds, Wolves, and then you go into Chelsea, right? So you've got a favorable schedule. It'll be a tough schedule, but you've got a favorable schedule till the end, or up to the Chelsea Man United match.
And Newcastle's in the FA Cup that they host.
Yes,
Valentine's Day weekend. Yeah.
Speaking of Bournemouth beat the Wolves. Shocker. Sunderland beat Burnley. Brighton and Everton take it to a 1-1 draw as you're cut off the There you go. I totally screwed up that headline. Sorry. It was half cut off, and it was like, this does not compute. Take 2. Bournemouth beat the Wolves. Sunderland beat Burnley. Brighton and Everton draw to 1-1, as does Nottingham Forest and Palace. So, other than Palace being wretched, and is there anything else that sticks out to you in any of these?
I think that's it. I think it's Palace. 3 losses and 2 draws. The last 5, and we'll talk about their chaotic January and kind of the transfer window here in a bit for them.
Is this one where the kid forgot to sign the DocuSign?
I don't.
Because is that the one? Because there's one a transfer didn't go. There was a whole thing, and the player.
There was a few deals that were just kind of interesting that we'll talk about, but it's just Palace. I think.
How did they go?
You won the FA Cup, and then you take the biggest loss in the FA Cup this year, the 115 places like we were talking about in the last pod, and now you're down. You're almost fighting for the. I mean, the other bottom 3 teams weren't as bad. Down there in 15th place, only 9 points. 3 games from being safe, and that's mainly because they stocked up on points earlier in the season.
Oh, by the way, it was a Northampton. I got it wrong. I thought it was Premier League. It was a Northampton transfer target. Forgot to sign his form and was like ready to go. Reaches out to the club and they're like, "It's over. You didn't sign it." What?
Whoops.
And I'd like to tell you, people go, "How could that happen?" As someone who constantly sends out contracts, people who only get paid if they sign them, I'm gonna tell you, people do that crap.
And don't they still like you have to fax it in?
Yeah, there's
whole
no whatever.
Still,
yeah, that's still like archaic in terms of
still
like,
1995.
Right, exactly. MS DOS, Windows 95.
Did you say MS DOS?
Yes.
Excellent. Yes. Well, that brings us to the halftime whistle, where we move over to all of the news that's fit to drink in Ron's beer news.
Alrighty. So, gentlemen, you know what today marked the start of? Unofficially marked the start of?
Not a clue.
Days are getting longer. Beer equinox. I got nothing.
Beer equinox. That's funny. I'd like to know what that would be a cool thing if we had a beer equinox.
Cool. Yeah. You get beer druids come out around a keg. It's like,
And they go to Stonehenge.
Yeah.
They get plastered.
The Olympics.
The Olympics.
Ah.
Yep. Curling started today.
Second, yeah.
Mixed doubles. Oh, I love me some curling.
Who doesn't?
Love it. Ever since I saw Scotty's Tournament of Hearts in Canada, those angels gliding over the ice, turning to demons.
Effervescent as always.
Oh, love it. Incredible. Anyway, mixed doubles started today. So I thought, hey, why don't we do some research on the old Olympics and beer?
Love it.
So, big beer at the Winter Olympics. The brewing giants take different approaches to the Olympics, gentlemen. So, the 2026 Olympic Games officially start Friday, February 6th, hosted this year in the cities of Milan and I apologize to all of our Italian listeners, Cortina d'Ampezzo in Italy. These games are the first in history to be held in 2 major cities and are the most geographically spread out ever, covering 8,500 square miles across northern Italy. It promises to be probably the most watched Olympics of all time, so that should be fun. Officially, though, guess who is the beer sponsor?
Well, I'm going to guess it's not Budweiser if you're saying it that way, which it has like always been. Heineken seems too easy. Ron's saying this like it's a surprise. Like it's something different, right? Because usually it's like Heineken, Bud Light, they do the big stuff.
High Noon.
Ultra, Michelob Ultra.
You may have guessed 8 Ball.
Yeah, right.
Butternut Brewing.
Bush, AB InBev.
Oh, wasn't Butternut Brewing?
Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh, so was it Mick Ultra or something?
It's AB InBev.
Wait, that's just the general sponsor.
as the general sponsor, right? So it'll be
okay.
Anheuser-Busch,
Yeah.
right? As the global beer sponsor, not just the U.S., right? And officially, Molson Coors are looking to cash in as well through their own version.
So
right?
actually, I was right. We all were, because Heineken
Right.
is part of that, and so
Mhm.
I mean, you forget what it is, but God, it's so crazy. I'm like pulling up a chart right now,
Still, I think, yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
a mess.
So beer companies were not usually an actual sponsor for the Olympics. They always just, updated the marketing and crashed the market with flooded the market, I should say, with all their stuff. But all that changes in 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, when Anheuser-Busch, AB InBev, became the global brewing partner and, pumped its beers like Budweiser, Corona, Michelob Ultra, which they have sneakily, slowly over time made Mich Ultra like the beer of athletes, the beer of active people, right?
And I was
when
wrong,
you
by the
s-
way. It's just in case anyone's listening and angry. Heineken isn't part of that. It's a separate thing, but they are their own conglomerate who own a bunch of.
Right. They
They own
okay.
Tecate
You're
and
You're right.
Isn't that Constellation brand? I think it's Constellation brand.
That may be, yeah.
But there's only really like 6
Right, 'cause-
companies that own all the famous breweries.
This
Right.
chart here says 5 beer makers own more than 50% of the world's beer. So yeah.
And Miller's Coors and InBev.
AB InBev, Constellation, the company that owns Sapporo. Is it Sapporo?
Yeah,
It's Japanese.
Yeah, or Kirin, or they do
about it.
Kirin in America, but not in Japan. I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy.
So they become the first beer company to enter the Olympics as a worldwide Olympic global partner at the top level of the International Olympic Committee's sponsorship program. So I thought, what's that about? What do we do? How much money does somebody have to give to be the top level global partner for anything, right? So I find out via the IOC website that it's basically 200 to 500 million to be in the top tier. Well, guess per Olympic cycle, right? Per Olympic cycle, which is it's a 3-year cycle, right? Not 4 like you would think the Olympics are, but every 3 years, right? So guess how much AB InBev's sponsorship is valued at? Now to get into the top tier, it's 250 to 500 million for an Olympic cycle.
734 million.
630 million.
So Blake is closest to the pin, but he is still off by
1.4 billion.
13 orders of magnitude. What? $1.725 billion is the astronomical amount of money. Astronomical. The sponsorship, the partnership, it was announced in January of 2024, like I said, and it established them as the first ever global beer sponsor. The duration is the initial deal covered 3 Olympic cycles that would get them through the Los Angeles 2028.
Jeez.
That's why, yeah.
Right.
What was it again?
What was what?
The amount?
1.725 billion.
You serious, Clark?
Yes.
Yep, I am. So in February of 2025, the partnership was extended to go through the Brisbane 2032 Olympic Games. So they are locked up with the IOC to 2032, which is nuts. You can expect AB InBev to push Corona Zero, which is their Corona non-alcoholic brand, but they're not going to do that in the U.S. In the U.S., guess what they're pushing?
Mick Ultra.
Michelob Ultra.
If I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now.
I don't know. I kind of thought Michelob Ultra was going to be the one, period. So I can't say it shocks me too much.
Yeah.
I think that was the whole point. Like, yeah, that wasn't that big a surprise.
1.725 billion. That's
But at least it covers 3 cycles.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
so it
now
covers
covers
12
to
years.
2032.
Well, when you
Right,
say it
so-
like that, it's practically
12
chump
years. It
change.
makes-
It's
It's a bargain because by the time we
Yeah.
get to 2032, that deal is going to double or triple. So, yeah, whatever.
Well, listen to Moneybags over
Yeah.
here. Whatever.
Some people can find that in their couch cushion.
You spread that around and, amortize it and you're fine. It's fine.
Whatever.
Well, you can also expect that Molson Coors isn't going to sit down and not do anything.
Yeah.
They are expected to continue their tradition from the 2024 Summer Olympics, where they highlighted and gave sponsorships and donations to the Olympic partners and the Olympic athlete families, and really went after the Canadian market more than the U.S. market. So that tradition is expected to continue, mostly because Coors Light, the Molson Coors company owns Molson Canadian and all the beers that they do. So rather than try and hit the hard U.S. market, they are going after the Canadians.
I think Pacifico's on that, if I'm not mistaken.
But you can basically expect that beer's there to stay in the Olympics, no matter who it's from, right? It's going to be quite entertaining to see. Whew. And that, gentlemen, it's a little run down the Olympic beer strategy.
Well, thank you, sir.
Well, I'm going to blow that halftime whistle. And before I start watching, we were going to do this beer for the pod and then discovered, oops, we actually did it 100 some episodes ago. But you go.
And who remembered that?
Well, no, hold on, Ferris. You remembered it
Well, no, I did.
today after we've been talking about it for a year and a half since I said I bought these to do on the pod.
I didn't know it was this beer.
Oh,
I remember I didn't know. You said it was going to be a surprise that whenever you and Ron get together, that I sent him down with it, right? Because you gave it to Ron. I had no clue until he showed up today and showed this, and I was like, oh no, I've seen this can before.
well, you know what? It's one of the world's best beers, so I don't care.
That's very fair.
We're going to
Very
bring back to the pod from Alchemist Brewing, a national favorite on the craft beer market. And that is the Heady Topper from Alchemist Brewing. And you know what? Good on it. It's the beer that's
Good on.
so nice we had to have it twice.
Love that.
For those
it's
that don't remember episode 129, the Heady Topper is an American double IPA pale ale. Beer is not intended to be the biggest or most bitter. It is meant to give you a wave after wave of hoppy goodness on your palate. Tremendous amounts of American hops will creep up on you and leave you with a dense hoppy finish in your mouth. So drinkable, it's scary. Sometimes I wish I could crawl into the can. Freshness and control have always been my main concern. When it comes to our beer, we are committed to providing you with unfiltered and unpasteurized hop experience. Why do I recommend you drink it from the can? Because it says that on the top. It says drink from the can. Quite simply, to ensure a delightful hop experience, the act of pouring it in a glass smells nice, but it releases the essential hop aromas that we work so hard to retain. If you must pour it in a glass, you may find that some of the hop resins have settled to the bottom. Leave them in the can. The can while pouring. The beer is perishable and at best when it is young. Well, this is not quite as young because, as I said, I've held on to this for a bit. But keep it cold, but not ice cold. Drink this beer immediately. Well, we have failed on 2 fronts, so we'll still see. If not fresh, this is still good.
I think this is my 3rd time actually having this beer.
Well, Mr. Hoity-toity over here.
Yeah, pinkies up.
I know.
Yeah.
Mr. I have 1.7 billion in the couch.
Yeah. I have Heady Topper all the time.
Making the point.
Jarvis-
Over a 12-year period in today's economy. I think it's-
Jarvis flies it over for me.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Okay.
I need one more to get.
Yeah, you can do it out of the can, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it out of the can. I need
Yeah,
one
we're
more
gonna-
to get me through editing tonight before I have to get up early and go fly for work.
At least you won't have any bleeps. Ron, you want to hand me
So
yours
far,
first?
we're doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, smells good. Smells tasty. And it's not just doesn't smell quite as hoppy as the New England IPA I just had. Don't forget some hop resin in the bottom. Pour slowly, so as you don't get that chunky hoppiness.
Ain't nobody like no chunky IPAs.
No, not unless it's a ice cream IPA with that good chunky ice cream in it.
Oh,
Ferris, by the way, man, do you?
I don't want to play the rest of it, or else you would have had to bleep that out.
I'm going to tell you that burp you just played of you doing that. So I'm currently producing a murder mystery comedy, and they have this burp sound effect that I saw the dress rehearsal last night. And I was like, that thing sounds okay. I have a better one for you, because the comment is that's a wet one. And I was like, I have a wet one. So I have pulled it out.
You mean this one?
and a couple of times I was able to
Look like you were pouring?
well, sometimes
Oh,
the shot glasses, you know.
Oh my God.
No, it's not that one from the
That's
Baijiu.
my right.
It is yours from the cookie, because that one's clean. There's nobody talking around it. So I'm able to pull it out, and I
That's fair.
sent it to them. I'll have to, because they open this weekend, I'll have to see it after I get back for the work trip, and see how your burp is doing. But I just want to let you know, all in the Great White North, I think your Cookie Plus burp is
All right.
it's gonna be on stage.
One more time for everybody.
Did you just burp up good beer mixed with Cookie Puss beer?
Oh God, that never gets old. If I'm in a bad mood, I can just play that.
All right.
Ah.
Thank you for one of the US's greatest beers.
The thing is, a double IPA at 8%. It just doesn't taste that like.
God.
It's so good.
You could sit back and have many of these and not know what
Yeah.
hit you.
Mm.
Hit you right in the
It-
heady.
From up in Vermont. Oh, out in Vermont.
Stowe, right? Stowe.
Stowe, Vermont.
Yeah, it was. I did a gig up in Vermont a few years back, and because they weren't open until like later, and the way I flew in through Rhode Island and yada yada yada, I couldn't quite make it up there because it was like a 40-minute divert to where I needed to go. I wish I would have gotten there though. It would have been so cool.
All right, Ferris. Well, it's your turn. Take us home with the Liga's Roundup.
All right. Well, we're kind of on track here, so we'll keep this pod rolling. There's a lot to talk about here. A lot more than I thought writing this, but we'll get started with the EFL, aka Chupacabra Cup, which has taken place over the past few days. Not the official name. That's just the name that we call it here on the pod. But real quick to recap that, Arsenal defeated Chelsea kind of at the death there yesterday, but they won 1-0 on the day, and it was 4-2 on aggregate. So Arsenal advanced to the final of the EFL Cup. Then Manchester City today defeated the cup holders of Newcastle United 3-1, and it was 5-1 on aggregate. So it's pretty much all City in that one. So that sets us up for Sunday, March 22nd. Man City will take on Arsenal at Wembley for what could be Arsenal's first piece of real silverware in 6 years. Blake, how you feeling?
Well, first, I want to correct something. The match between Chelsea and Arsenal getting wrapped up right at the death, that ain't true. Arsenal was winning the whole time. I have a question for Ron. When you need to score 2 goals to win this and keep Arsenal, or 2 goals more than Arsenal, what was the play by Chelsea and the manager? It was like conservative for 70 minutes, and then we'll try to score on the best defense in the league.
And real quick, before you get into the match analysis, there was the reason I put you stay on your inside of the pitch, because pre-game Rosier was not too happy with Arsenal players coming on this side, so I made it around during around social media there. So, anyways, continue.
He had a few expletives.
Yes, he
in
did.
that, which I shall not say.
Correct, for the sake
Because
of Blake's
we don't
editing.
wanna bleed.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I actually understand and agree with the tactics that Rossini came up with.
All right, go ahead, Gary Neville. Let's hear it.
Wow. What a topic. I had something more choice to call you, but you got to bleep.
Oh, God, I was hoping someone would say something
He's
like
not
that.
everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And Ron gets so annoyed by that.
I'm just making fun because Neville, like at half, was like, "Oh, Chelsea's doing a masterclass right now." that's what
he
I
is.
say that.
He's
Sorry,
the Chris
sorry.
Collinsworth to Ron. To Ron.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
God, that guy. Ugh.
I kind of wish you weren't editing the pod. I would like
No, somehow it made it better because I could see like a word balloons come out of his mouth and he sucked them all back in.
Yep, sure did. Oh.
So, believe it or not, the amount of injuries we have and the amount of fitness that we are trying to manage, right? Pedro Neto was like we didn't name a team until we officially had to.
Yeah.
Meaning the players didn't even know if they were going to start or not. And one of the big reasons for that is Pedro Neto and Reece James, who were failed fitness tests right before the match. So they weren't able to play. Right. So that really hurts wing play for us. Garnacho was not going to play in the wing. We already knew what that was going to be like. So with the lack of wing play on either side, right, we ended up having to essentially go with a back five, right? Lock it down and do our best to essentially just frustrate Arsenal and wear them down in the first half, right? Then 60, 70th minute, bring on fresh attacking legs and take the game to them, right? And I will say that while I don't think the entirety of the strategy worked, it did for the first half, right? The Arsenal was pinging balls all over the place, couldn't find the spaces to operate like they normally would, right? There was Arsenal couldn't even count on set pieces like they normally do because there was a little trickery in there where before the ball was kicked, 3 of Chelsea's players ran to the midline. Well, if that's the
strategy,
if that's the case, Arsenal can't leave all their men in the box because if Chelsea get the ball, it's 3 on nobody and they're going to score, right? So
it's a great strategy, but it's
risky.
smart.
It's
risky,
very risky,
but
though.
smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 3 of the Arsenal players had to vacate and go with their markers, and therefore that left an imbalance in favor of Chelsea in the box, right? So there's a lot of things that were actually pretty smart about this. The hard part was Delap is really like he's been injured most of the season. He doesn't make smart plays, and he's still trying to find out where he fits here. His start to his Chelsea career has been woefully underwhelming, right?
He's been injured a lot for it too.
Agreed. So it's been really hard for him to really make any impact, right? Cole Palmer is got the injuries. He's like playing 60% of the time at 40% capacity.
And he wants to come to Man United in the summer. Saw that story.
So like we're constantly worried about his fitness too. He's not playing at full strength, right? And so the attacking bit that we thought was going to come off in the last 20 minutes went woefully flat. Now, a part of that credit is to Arsenal's, Saliba and Gabriel, right? Because any time that Joao Pedro got that ball or Delap got that ball, they were stuck to them. Now, Delap has no hold-up play, right? Joao Pedro does. So they knew what that center back pairing knows what they can do and what they can't and how they can push things around, right? It just didn't come off as planned. is a viable strategy in my opinion.
Sure.
And worked for a majority of the time. But in that moment where we were supposed to kick it up a notch and take the game to Arsenal when they were, kind of tired and run out and frustrated because none of their typical playbook worked.
Yeah, and the goal was
Right.
to try to counter and get an early goal to get back and make it 3-3 because there's not any away goals or anything like that in this. And Arsenal pretty much played a full lineup. Arrizabalaga instead of Raya. Pretty much everybody else are starters, or at least have been throughout the season. And Arsenal did what they did best. If I'm not mistaken, it was at the Emirates, correct?
Yes.
Which that goes a long way because they're just better at the Emirates, and they just set up shop. They knew that they were ahead in the tie, didn't need to get it. And that goal, like I said, late came in the 97th minute. And it was a hazard goal that was subbed in on the 69th minute. So yeah, it's a good point you make there, Ron. And I think that's interesting to look at it. It just didn't pay off in the end. And when you're playing a team like Arsenal, it probably more times than not, it's not going to play off. So that's the only thing that I would question on it is that you're playing the odds there against a team that's first in the Champions League and just on a tear this season. More times than not, that strategy is not going to pay
only
off.
give yourself 20, 30 minutes to really try and score a goal. I don't.
But you
get
are
that.
away. You're playing away. I think maybe a strategy would have been different if you were playing at the Bridge. But and
also
was because
healthy attacking.
Yes, healthy attacking. Sure, all those things.
Right.
Will
So I thought I'm like you, Blake. In the first, 40-ish minutes, I was like, "What are we doing?" This makes no sense to me. And then once, I sat and considered it, and saw once we learned, there's fitness issues. People failed the fitness tests right before the match and therefore couldn't play. And I think he, did the best he could with what he had. And in my opinion, what all good coaches should be doing is setting their team up for the best success possible. And under the circumstances, I think that was the best possible tactics given the situation.
Sure. Blake, how do you feel about your chances going into the final and winning some hardware first time in a while?
Well, the old adage is defense wins trophies, or wins championships. So,
fair point.
I mean,
and you got
and that's all that was. I mean, to be honest, Arsenal didn't look like. They're like, it's cool. We don't have to score either. We don't need to score. We should keep you from scoring, and we can win this game, and we've got the people to do that.
Absolutely.
Right now, so yeah, I'm curious to see the Man City setup. I think, to be honest, the Man City final becomes a mental thing.
Sure.
Does Man City come in going, we have to do this to a point where they screw up because they overdo it? Or, I'm very curious.
I think it becomes
see.
a mental thing for both. Now you're playing on a neutral ground because it's going to be at Wembley, but I think it's a mental game for both, right? Can Arsenal get over that hump and beat Man City, especially on that kind of stage, and win? So I think it's going to be one of the. Newcastle and Liverpool was quite good last year, right? With Newcastle winning, it's not that obviously Arsenal have won much, in the more recent past than the Newcastle many years, but I think it's going to be a very interesting final and one that is good for the EFL Cup. It is just mind games on both, and it should be a good match, indeed. But let's get moving along as going here. Transfer deadline day came and gone. Kind of underwhelming, all things considered. Not a whole lot.
I don't think it's underwhelming. Well, sorry. I don't think it's shocking. A lot of teams spend a lot of money in the summer. So
yeah, but yes, they did, and there wasn't a whole lot spent this window, and it was one of the lowest ever. And it was mainly Man City and Tottenham. Arsenal spent 0. Liverpool spent 0. That they did, but for the future, we'll get to that here in a second. Chelsea spent 0, which is a surprise, and Man United spent 0, which is not a surprise. But Man City bringing in Semenyo and Gahey, obviously big signings. Tottenham bringing in Gallagher was a big signing from Atletico, and he's been great for him. So can't argue with that. The Liverpool signing, they signed Jeremy Jacquet, and I don't know if I said that right, for 55 million pounds, a deal from Rennes. in France, they're doing quite well, but he will not officially join the club until July 1st. Other than that, we'll get to Crystal Palace here in a second. But before that, guys, do you know who one of our former players here at Orlando City just signed for?
Yes.
Kyle Larin, the
Canadian.
Canadian.
Yep.
Going into a World Cup year, signs and completes a loan deal with Southampton in the championship. How cool is that? Forward previously at Besiktas in Orlando City, has 87 appearances and 30 goals for Canada. Sits second in the country's all-time top scorers list, 7 behind Jonathan Davey. He's quoted as saying, "I feel happy to be here, to come and help the club. I've had a warm welcome from the staff, and I'm excited to meet the players and fan. The way the club plays, I think, fits my style. We create a lot of opportunities. That's what a striker loves." So
hopefully he'll score goals there.
Yeah, I'm going to tune in. I'm going to tune into some of those games, which I think are Paramount Plus and CBS. You can watch a lot of the championship games. But listen, hey, good. I hope he does do well. I hope he does not do well this summer for Canada, but that's a different story. And then Crystal Palace. Whew.
What a bleep show they are.
This is a January they would love to forget. Just chaotic, filled with woes and worry. Glazer, Gahey, oh my. I mean, you just wow. I mean, between their head coach, not Glazer, I'm thinking of the main what's the head coach's name? Oh hell.
Glasner?
Glasner, yes. I wrote Glazer because of Man United, but yeah. Glasner saying that he basically doesn't feel supported. We read his quote on previous pods. He's already said he's gone in the summer. Gahey, they sold him for 20 mil, like literally chump change for what it is to Man City. Now I get he's out of the deal come the summer, so you got to get something from him. But still, City got a heck of a deal. And then you come to transfer deadline day. And there are these 3 stories that are just wild. So you add on to all of that happened all throughout January. And then their transfer day was just as chaotic as you could have thought. There was John Philippe Mateta, their star striker, who has been great for them in the past season and a half. Didn't play the last match because he wasn't in the right mental space or mind space. AC Milan pulled out of a move because he was linked with them all for the past 2 weeks or something like that. Pulled out of a deal for the Palace striker because he didn't pass a fitness test. Now, he's been dealing with a knee injury.
They were trying to sell a broke player, man.
Yes, they were. Yes, and AC Milan was like, no, we're a little bit smarter than this.
That's like sitting at CarMax. You're like, God, I hope they don't check this one thing in your car. You're trying to say, please don't.
Yes, Yes. So it would have been a deal. We said so. We underwent those tests. The 2 sides had agreed on a deal with would have been more than 30 million euros to 26 million pounds, $35.6 million for the forward. But however, those medical checks that they did he did not pass. So the Serie A club walked away from him. That on top of Dwight McNeil from Everton was all set to go on a loan to Palace. That fell through. But you didn't have Dwight McNeil coming out saying this. You had his girlfriend, Megan Sharpley, who shared an emotional social media post. And listen, she makes some good points.
She does. I laugh, but I mean, she is right. It's just sad that I'm laughing to be fair at the Crystal Palace and the mess of this. Yeah.
She's quoted as saying, toyed with until the final minute. So try to read some more of her quotes, but she posted, tonight, the last 48 hours have broken my heart to see how the football world you love so much can be so cruel to you. To have something promised to you, to have been dragged along on an emotional roller coaster, and to be toyed with until the final minute. To have 4.5 years of your life promised to you, traveling, medicals, agreements made, promises made. To have prepared to move your entire life, our life, 100 of miles away in the space of a few hours. For it to be torn away from you at the last second with absolutely no explanation. Going from everything to radio silence, no phone call, no communication, and be left brokenhearted with nothing but confusion has hurt more than I can say. She went on to add, we live in a world where everyone is aware how big of a problem mental health is. So in football, Why do we find it acceptable? Because these young men are on a lot of money. That it's okay to mess and toy with their mental health, and that's just part of the job. No matter of money, we all deserve to be treated with respect, kindness, and fairly. So I really question the industry tonight. I only hope there's more done in the future to protect people from situations like what I have witnessed tonight. Football is brutal, and yes, it's the nature of the beast, but messing with human beings' feelings and emotions shouldn't be acceptable. People only see one side of the media. You don't see the tears, the emotion, and the distress I've seen tonight. She just capped it all off with, I love you, Mo. I couldn't thank you enough for all your love and support. I kind of want to cuss, but effing bang on there. Like,
well,
she's not wrong.
And what's up with them, man? They're a mess right now.
Right. And you're like, this player is going to go on loan, but you forget that they're people. They're human beings, right?
They got to cart their family and find a place to live and find schools for their children. And especially if there's a language barrier, you're moving to another country, like settling into those types of things. Like, that's remarkably difficult.
And that wasn't the same here because they're going to move from Merseyside down to the capital of the country. But it's still a big move.
Yeah.
It's a massive move. And to be, as you said, toyed with all that time and then to have radio silence. We don't know the exact conversation. She obviously knows more and was more involved in that between the communications, text messages, phone calls. But you think that there's you would like to think, I should say, that there's some level of professional respect there between a club player and an agent, that there's at least hey, we've been dealing with this all day. We just can't get this deal across. Sorry. Maybe we can make it happen in the summer. I don't know. Right. But something like, and it doesn't seem like that was the case here. And that just kind of adds to just their chaotic month. But then they go on and sign Jorgen Strand Larson from Wolves, who has had a horrid season. That if you remember early in their season, Wolves doubled down and extended his contract. So they bought him for £43 million. That's $58.9 million plus $5 million on add-ons, because they thought that Mateta was going to AC Milan, so that half of that deal would fund this.
Right.
And that didn't happen and fell through. So now they have Mateta staying, a striker that was playing for the bottom club that have not scored a lot of goals, and he's not been very good for them.
Yeah.
For half $100 million here at 40, for us, $60 million essentially for this striker. And you're stuck with both of them, a striker that didn't pass a medical, him, and you didn't get Dwight McNeil. I think is a very good player. Get him on loan for some bolstering attack. Yes, they signed what's his name from Tottenham, Ben. Oh hell, I can't think of his name. But
the thing I don't know,
it's just mess of a January for him.
But Palace is one of those clubs that'll come out and their fans and manage whoever. We're not like the Chelseas, the Man Uniteds, and the Arsenals of the world. Like, we have to be smart how we do this and yada yada yada.
And then this happens.
Like what is?
But they can't say that now.
No, not at all.
It was a mess from Steve Parrish, and I don't know their full back office there, but to come off of what was arguably your best ever season, like, we get it. You're not going to stand up to that year in, year out, right? You're not the Man City's, Arsenal, Chelsea's, Man United's that have that backing power to stay that high up, but to have your best ever season, to win a historic trophy, to then in a short 6 months be in this place to where it's just, you sell Eze, you sell Gehi, which is your cornerstones of your spine of your team, essentially, to have your manager come out and say that, to not feel like he's back, to not feel like he's supported, he's going to leave in the summer, to trying to sell your star striker, to having that fall through, to then going on a loan move from somebody and having you blasted and a lot of things rightly spilled on how you handled it, and then to sign a striker that has been woeful. And I don't want to say a laughing stock, but for Wolves fans, I'm sure they would say that in terms of how he's been for them is just not good.
No.
You know, and I don't know. It's they're in a tough place, and we don't know where it's going to go, and odds are they stay up in the table or up in the league, so that's going to help. But yeah, it's just been a mess, and they'll probably lose more in the summer, I would think. Brennan Johnson, sorry, I need to get that guy's name that they signed. But all right, moving on. The Champions League draw happened since the last time that we've spoke. So real quickly, the draw for them, you have two the French clubs taking on Monaco, taking on PSG, Galatasaray taking on Juventus, and we did get a rematch between Jose's Benfica and Real Madrid.
Love it.
Thank you, script writers.
Correct.
As if Donald Trump pulled the draw himself because they smuggled the answer to him.
Yes.
Yes.
Because of the pots, it was kind of set up that they would probably get that, but yeah. Then you got Borussia Dortmund, my Dortmund against Atalanta of Italy. Karabag versus Newcastle, so pretty favorable there. Club Bruges versus Atletico Madrid. Bodo Glimt versus Inter, a good draw for Forza Inter. And Olympiacos versus Leverkusen.
This could be really fun. This could be really fun. You could see some upsets here.
Yeah. Sure. Yes. You absolutely could. And again, it's the knockout playoff the knockout round playoff draw that's taking place the draw completed on Friday, January 3rd, just after Valentine's Day. You got 4 games happening on Tuesday, February 17th, and then another 4 games happening on the 18th. And
that's the first leg, right?
Keep in mind, that's the first leg. Yes, exactly. So then you'll have a second leg. And then the winners of that then go on to play your teams that advanced in terms of Barcelona, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Sporting, Man City, Arsenal, Bayern. So more to come on that. There was also a Champions Cup. I don't know if I can say that with that because I think it's wrong. It's right. FIFA and one's UEFA. Anyways,
that'll be all right.
Arsenal women win the first ever Women's Champions Cup as they beat Corinthians 3-2 in extra time, and also bringing in a nice $2.3 million in prize money. So this was similar to the men. You get clubs from confederations of UEFA, CAF, CONCACAF, and CONMEBOL. For instance, for here in the States, it was Gotham that went to it, and they actually lost to Corinthians,
which was cool. I was going to say, like, they did. I mean, they played well.
Mm-hmm. So Arsenal doing better in the cup tournament than they are in the league at the current moment. And speaking of the league, the WSL is just kicking right on, and there were some bangers this past weekend. If you're not watching, super fun league on ESPN Plus. The games are kind of early, but that's okay. So it's a 12-team league. They're about 14 games in. You have Man City, top of the table, 39 points, which is 11 points ahead of my Manchester United. And that is courtesy of what Man City did to Chelsea this week. 5-1. Ron, how does that feel?
Well, look, we knew that the days of Emma Hayes were behind us, solidly in the rear view. Sonia Pastor has had a great season last season. Key injuries, some notable outs in the transfer have, kind of not made us where we want to be this season. And
Yeah.
still a solid team. We're in third, I want to say.
Yeah.
You guys are in
And
third.
At the end of the day, if you are a fan of Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, for the women's league in England, it's a great league for an extra reason. You get to see a league where Liverpool sits dead last.
Yes, indeed. Yes, and speaking of that, thank you. Segue. Man United 3-1 winners over Liverpool. I got up and watched this really early in the morning, but I happened to be awake and watched this. Man, Lisa Noslin, Nelson, 2 goals there in the second half because it was looking bleak. Because listen, Liverpool have made some good signings. In fact, they signed tucked in Denise O'Sullivan from North Carolina, and she did not have a very good game in this. In fact, she got thrown off the ball in this one. But United are a good team, and in the second half they kind of just turned it on. And Noslin 2 goals. Not really known for the goal scorer, right? Because you have Park, you have Turlin, you have Millard, you have Toon, who's been out, Roloff, who came on and scored. But anytime we can beat Liverpool is a good day, and it's just kind of they're a fun team to watch, and with a U.S. goalie in there with Fallon Tullis-Joyce, she's just been fantastic. She was the player of the match last match, and I think she's been a player of the month there. Just a lot of fun, and an assist in this one by Hannah Lundquist. Gentlemen, you know where she last played? Because we watched her here in the States last year.
Carolina?
San Diego. Yeah, she made her move in January. It's way off. And actually her, Ellen Wangerham from the Bundesliga, Himsberg, I don't remember, but she made her move, and then Leah Schuler for Germany. That's a name that you should know. For Bayern, made her move as well. And they're just kind of getting their feet on the ground. But they both came in and did well in the match. But to round out the WSL table, so you have Man City first, Man United second, Chelsea third. Now, for the Champions League that they have, Man City automatically advances. They don't have to play in all those play-in games that United had to do this year, that Chelsea didn't have to do, if I'm not mistaken. But the second and third teams have to play all those play-in games for their Champions League. Arsenal currently sit in fourth, 1 point behind Chelsea, which Chelsea sit 1 point behind Man United. Then you have Tottenham right behind Arsenal, actually tied on points, but with a 0-goal difference in fifth. Michelle Kang's London City Lionesses in sixth, Brighton in seventh, Aston Villa in eighth, Everton in ninth, Leicester City in 10th, and West Ham, kind of where they are in the Premier League as well, sitting down there in 11th. And then Liverpool, as Blake mentioned, dead last. But they made some good signings, and I don't know if they'll end in dead last this year. I think you might see a Leicester or West Ham kind of sneak down there instead.
Ferris, before we move out of England, can I throw one out for good friends of the pod, English League update?
Absolutely.
So our good buddy, the pod, Lee Malaby, who lives up in Darlington, this past week, they beat Merthyr Town, and they are in a National League North. They're in the National North that we went over a little bit with our the FA Cup game. I bring this up because the first team gets promoted. Would a promotion move them out of non-league into league? But the first club team gets promoted, and then the next 6, so second through seventh, have a playoff for it. And right now, Darlington sits in sixth, and they just beat third place Merthyr Town 3-1. So they sit at 6, 1 above Macclesfield, who is the club that knocked out Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. So I have just been following along as I can, starting to get updates on my socials. I've actually seen some video and stuff from Darlington, but was cool to see, and hoping for the best. I have now. Yeah. As much as Man,
But,
as much as I want to go over to the UK, plan a trip. I would love to go to the Emirates, whatever. I really want to go
Gotta see Darlow. Yep.
I know, man. I want to go see.
I have some Darlow merch that Lee.
I got the one from when they played at Wembley. The scarf he brought for that when I traded in the first year MLS Orlando kit that had that had the old badge on the inside. Yeah. So I keep watching these guys on the side to see how they're doing. But
go on, Darlow. Come on, Darlow. Screw you, Merthyr Towners. Excuse me. All right, moving over to the Bundesliga real quick. Dortmund actually moved within 6 points of Bayern as they came from behind in the second half to defeat FC Heidenheim. Man, this was a nervy game. They won me one half of my parlay. But anyways, Bayern hasn't been, not that the wheels completely fallen off, but they drew this one 2-2 once they were already up 2-1. They ended up drawing against Hamburg, and they lost their last one. So currently, Bayern sit on 51 points, and Dortmund sit on 45 points. Still 6 points, but the gap is slowly closing. So we'll see here. Just to round out their top six in the Bundesliga, you have Hoffenheim that's sitting third. Stuttgart sitting fourth, RB Leipzig sitting fifth, and Bayer Leverkusen sitting sixth. Such a fun league to watch. I at least have if not the Dortmund game. There was a St. Pauli game last week that I was tuning into. It's on ESPN as well, and they have the thing where they do on the Peacock now, where if there's 4 games on at the same time, they put them all on the same screen and box, and you can just bounce around between them. Super cool, super cool. I love that technology.
Yeah, they have, the coverage and stuff on Peacock hasn't taken leaps and bounds. They've been doing this for years, but I will give them a lot of credit for I don't know there's a leap and bound to make at this point, but just steady.
Solid.
Yeah.
Well, do you know where it's
like that
started though, gents, right?
What's that?
The Summer World Cup, Summer Olympics 2 years ago.
Oh yeah,
they started those multiple boxes.
Yes.
You can watch skiing, or not skiing, but you can watch track, and you can watch this and you watch that. And then it's translated this year, maybe a little bit last year, but I think it was this year mainly, into the Premier League. When you watch, if there's at that 10 a.m. slate for us here on the East Coast, if there's 3 or 4 different games on, they'll put them all, and if it's not on USA, then they'll put them on Boom 4-box, and that's kind of what ESPN does. Now ESPN does because they don't show it on the main ESPN channel usually. But this past weekend was fun. There was 4 games on. You could just bounce around to the audio. And there was goals flying in, especially in the second half of these. So you could just switch to each and just watch the goal again, listen to the call, watch the fans, all that. It's just super fun. And that we're lucky enough to see all these games is huge.
I know if we were in England,
not like that in their home country.
No, I'd say if you were in England, you were in Germany, it's a very different. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Now you might have to have multiple different, right? This is on ESPN. WSL we talk about on ESPN. Champions League is on CBS, Paramount. La Liga that we're getting ready to talk about here on ESPN, Serie A on Paramount, and Premier League on Peacock and NBC. So we might have to have them all a little bit, but hey, listen, if you're a soccer fan, it's absolutely worth it to have these because just a lot of good play. Speaking of La Liga and Serie A, there's a tight race going on in Spain as rivals Barcelona and Madrid duke it out for the top spot with only 1 point separating them in the La Liga table. Right now you have Barcelona topping it on 55 points. You have Real Madrid on 54 points, just 1 point behind them. And I don't know when they play again here, but I think we're due for one more. No, maybe yeah, you're right. I think maybe we're done. But it's going to be a race to the end here with them, and a little bit behind them, actually 9 points behind them. Sit at Atletico Madrid and Villarreal in those top 4 spots. Real Betis sitting fifth, and Espanyol sitting sixth. So it's mainly going to be once again Barcelona and Real Madrid duking it out there
as usual.
Real Madrid still with an interim head coach there, if you remember, because Xabi Alonso got the sack. They've played okay, but they've won at least their last 5, and Barca dropped one a few weeks ago to Real Sociedad. back in mid January. So who knows? We'll see what happens. And then lastly, over in Italy, we also have the Derby di Milano rivals of Inter and AC kind of duking it out. However, Inter has a 5-point lead over the rivals of AC Milan. Both kind of similar form throughout the past 5 games. Napoli are 4 points behind them. Juventus 5 points. A little bit tighter of a race here. These are fun matches to watch as well, and I'd be curious because I don't know if a 10-point gap between first and fourth seems like a lot, but there's some good teams here, and they're going to duke it out. So it'd be a tight race to the Scudetto. And a little bit of worry here. Christian Pulisic was ruled out on the midweek game that AC Milan were, with an injury.
Bursitis, right?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and it doesn't look to be. It's just he's kind of fought injury throughout his career, so
it's been particularly prevalent at AC Milan. He had a phenomenal year his first year at AC Milan, and then he's been kind of injury plagued since.
Yeah,
which really sucks going into the World Cup.
We just hope that it's not right now. It's not appearing to be anything long term, but that's kind of the worry for us. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him in the March friendlies or a whole lot of the friendlies leading up to the World Cup, unless they're like those really late ones there, like the end of May and early
get him primed
June.
Just
get him primed,
just
because you want to make sure because he's the captain, he's the key. He kind of helps to churn it. So we're going to look a lot for him. This is kind of his prime of his career in essence. So hopefully he stays fit. And that has been your La Liga's roundup.
Ooh, that was weird. It caught the end of it.
Woo! Give me a good slap there first.
You got a double slap. All right. Beers of the pod. We ended with a heady topper, a repeat, but such a damn good beer. And then I had a Zerion Matrix New England Indian IPA or Indian Pale Ale, I should say, from Collusion Tap Works in York, PA.
We had the Australian Pale Ale Captain Sensible by Balter Brewing Company, and it was
middle of the road.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Nothing
when you got to that fork in the road, you just stopped right there at the
I'm curious, Ron, for you to reach out to your Aussie friends and be like, so what do you guys consider that one? Like every time we do one of these,
tell them
exactly.
This was, kind of, 3 steps above antiseptic.
Because what you want to know is, was this crap or are they like, no, this is it's like meh. Because when I say it's meh, you still got more crap ones to go. That wasn't one of them. That's what you got to find out.
And thank you for bringing over this side launch. Pills. Pills. I'm still kind of sipping on that.
We're all over the place tonight with good beer. That's 4 different beers. 5 different beers. I can't do math.
2 repeats too. Yeah,
I know. Ferris, you have a Zlatan quote?
Well, we cleaned out a box that we moved it, or we moved the desk and everything over here. What, months ago now?
Yeah, a couple months ago.
Oh crap! Sorry, Blake. At the very end of the pod.
What did you say? I didn't even catch it.
I said the S word.
I'll just write it down. I love that you said the S word. That's so cute.
Oh man,
you had one job.
I did. I had one job. I'm so sorry. Anyways, we moved stuff over months ago, and we cleaned out the box. And guess what I found?
What?
A Latin style book that you got me. So tell me when to stop, baby.
All right, let's hit it. We'll see if it's not one we've hit. Stop.
Yeah, it's a picture. So go again.
All right. Stop. This is the Zlatan style book.
Pictures again. Hold on. This is laptop book. There's a lot of pictures.
It's a small book. Blake.
Stop.
Go ahead. All right. 2 pages worth that I'm not. Okay, this one I see. Okay, this is okay. This is a good one.
This is the Zlatan style book
because it involves Mario Balotelli.
It's for those that are joining. It is the book called Zlatan Style, full of just quotes.
Yep. And we haven't checked them all off on here. But this one, if Maserati had attacked me like that, I would have decked him in a second. That's Zlatan speaking on Marco Maserati slapping AC Milan teammate Mario Balotelli.
No one was ever going to slap Ibrahimovic.
You know
like
what?
that.
We're going to go 2 for 2 on a Wednesday. A reporter asked Zlatan, who is the most beautiful woman in the world? Zlatan's response, I haven't met her yet, but when I do, I'll date her.
God, that guy's so good. Follow us, the Brewtiful Game. Tell your friends about us. This is how we get more people to listen to the pod. Follow us on the Untapped. Leave us a rating and review on the pod. Catcher of your choice, Apple Podcast, what have you. Let us know if you do. We'll get something out to you. And I'm going old school. I went flipping through a ton of dad jokes and kind of did what Ferris did and just stopped on one. So, guys, what do you call a fish wearing a bow tie?
A style fish?
Sophisticated. And on that, I leave you. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game. Wait, where's the button? There it is.